I've always taken the philosophy, if anyone's bullying you, you just ignore them. That's why I give you the silent treatment so many times a day. I'm just kidding. That's never worked.
That's true.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List, and we've entered into August officially, I guess.
I mean,
technically last weekend's came out in August, but we filmed it in July, so it didn't count. But, there's something different in the air.
It is. It's a little hotter.
A little hotter, yep, that's one thing. There's something else that's a little different in the air, though.
What's that?
The linoleum of the floors of the schools.
Yeah.
Cafeteria starting to fire again. Yeah. I know, you don't want me to say it, but August is kind of that home stretch to school being back and everything like that. Not just high school, elementary school, college, and all that sort of stuff. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. That's just how the calendar works.
It's just how it is.
There's a beginning.
Back to school.
Yeah, we're getting to that point here at least. I think we're close enough to kind of start talking about that. So, for today's main movie topic, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of just school. Well, we'll get more into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll get into that. It's a very niche topic this week. It was kind of hard to nail down for sure. But before we do that, I kind of want to do a real quick thinking outside the box office.
All right.
I just kind of noticed this headline here. I just kind of want to talk about it, get our own thoughts on it here. This past weekend, it was a very interesting weekend at the box office.
Okay.
Fantastic Four: First Steps still stayed at number 1. So that's kind of the good news. Bad news is apparently it experienced a 66% drop in its second weekend.
Yep.
Now, that is a little bit higher than you would like to see in a second weekend. For a little bit of context, you can usually see a pretty big drop in the second weekend. That's just kind of how it works. For context, Superman, which came out a few weekends before, saw a 52% drop, which is about, I would say, roughly where you would see major blockbusters.
Yep.
But 66 is a little bit higher. You don't want to see that number.
And I think that's, I would say, faux Marvel fans. As in, anybody that wanted to watch it saw it that first weekend. Nobody else is going to go watch it.
And that's actually why I wanted to bring this up. Because when Fantastic Four came out, it seemed like he was doing good that first weekend. Everyone pretty much loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of seemed like, all right, is maybe Marvel back? Looking at this, do we have to worry about Avengers Doomsday a little bit?
Doomsday, no, because they have their golden child attached to it. But any other Marvel projects, a little bit.
And here's why I feel like there is a little bit to be concerned here. When Avengers Infinity War and Endgame were kind of coming out, there was a little bit of talk about how expensive these movies were going to be to make. But I don't think any of us were concerned or even gave a second thought to that because they had pretty consistently hit these like billion-dollar marks with their movies previous. We knew it was going to hit this one here.
Yep.
So financially, it seemed like no issue. But if you're not hitting those marks leading up to this, how are you going to continue to keep standing on these legs if the legs are kind of running out of juice here?
Yep. No, I agree with that. Because a lot of Marvel's success, too, yes, their opening weekends, but they had a little bit more sustaining ability. Like, the drops weren't quite as bad. And I don't know. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to step in and say, we're not putting that much money into this project. So,
yeah, you just can't at that point. You just can't. So, I don't know. I guess I'm not panicking, but it is, to me, almost saying back when Marvel was kind of in its peak, you had the Marvel comic book fans, you had comic book fans in general, and you had the larger public all kind of in on this sort of fad, I guess you could say. This is showing that maybe it's not as big in the mainstream audience anymore. Mm-hmm. And that is a huge part of its success before, was it was in that mainstream audience, so it can have all those huge box office numbers. So, and if anything, okay, we would maybe be okay with that with that Captain America movie that came out earlier, Thunderbolts, okay. But this was the one that was like, okay, we're finally doing a good Fantastic Four. everyone kept saying if you hadn't been keeping up, this was a good one to get back into. You didn't have to stay connected. If anything, this was the opportunity to get those fans back. Now there's nothing. Well, okay, I'm going to take that back because I'm still in the mindset that Avengers Doomsday was coming out in May, but it got pushed to December. We do have Spider-Man actually now coming out.
Yep.
I highly doubt they pushed that because of any reasons other than they just needed more time to get this, but that may have actually saved them now that I think about it.
Think so?
Because now you've got Spider-Man. True. Spider-Man, tried and tested, has always been profitable for Marvel.
Yep. I agree, and I think it will. And you said that comes out in...
I think it's July.
July of
next year. I think it's July of 26.
Yeah, July 26th is Spider-Man, and then I believe Avengers Doomsday they pushed to December. So it's going for that Christmas market now.
Yep. And I think that's good for them. That's a good... Definitely put Spider-Man first.
I guess, I'm kind of just making this conversation up on the fly here. I'm almost picturing in an alternate universe if they hadn't pushed back Doomsday, I'd be a lot more worried about Doomsday. Considering how they clearly have not gotten back their mainstream fans. But now that I know Spider-Man is first before that, that might just be their saving grace. I agree with you. I think a lot of people will come back to see RDJ. But, I mean, there's only but the problem then is you still don't have your mainstream audience. The second RDJ is no longer a part of this, you're going to lose them all again.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think they are, I don't want to say it, but a doomed company. They're on their downhill. I don't see them ever getting back to... And it's
now, hold up. I said that jokingly earlier this year when I was talking about DC, and you all scoffed at me. You all laughed.
I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about Marvel.
I'm saying DC was going to rise and Marvel was going to fall this year, and you all called me crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
You did with your eyes, man. I could see it in your eyes.
No. I might have been laughing at the DC rising part, but the Marvel falling part, they've been falling for a while. They're just... I don't think they'll ever get they'll never get back to where they were for Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, but I don't think they'll get close to that either. I think they'll have some big things, but I don't think it'll be to that same level of...
So what you're saying is Grandpa Marvel is not yet, we need to check him into hospice, but we do have to visit him a little bit more often?
Yeah. We just got to go check on him a little more.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Make sure the medication's all lined up, ready to go. Okay. That's a very dour metaphor now that I think about it, but
it's all right.
I don't know. I just saw that, thought that was interesting. Kind of was disappointed by that because, again, I mean, I thought Fantastic Four was pretty good. I thought it was a good one to get back to.
It was fine.
I was disappointed to see that drop. So, but what are your thoughts? Do you think Marvel is, as you said, doomed, or do you think we might still have a little something to look forward to in 2026? Let us know in the comments your own thoughts there. But let's move on then to the opening spotlight. We kind of alluded to it a little bit here earlier on the episode. We're going to talk about some back-to-school Dred, so to speak.
Judge Dred.
Oh, I wish we could talk about that. Okay, side note. Now you've totally got me on this here now. Did you hear Taika Waititi is supposedly set to direct a new one?
Judge Dred?
Yeah, a Judge Dred movie.
I didn't hear that.
Taika Waititi.
That'd be cool. It better be rated R.
I am willing to defend him more than most, I think.
I think you're right.
But I would not consider him a good director for Judge Dredd.
Never know.
I'm just saying he cracked jokes with Adolf Hitler in that movie. So
true.
As Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
I just don't see him taking this seriously.
I don't think he'll take it seriously, but maybe they don't want a serious one.
I don't know. How do you do Judge Dredd jokingly?
Don't know.
I don't think you can. That's my problem. Anyways, okay, sidebar over. So, anyways, yeah, we're kind of getting back into that theme here, back to school here and everything. This is one of those weird weekends where there were two separate movies that kind of have a similarity that we really had to stretch to make sense. Kind of like how that one weekend we had like two movies with a number in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Just was weird that both were happening the same weekend.
Yeah.
Here we have two movies where something happens to essentially school children, something weird. Something supernatural.
Something kind of goofy.
So we're really kind of trying here. We're trying to find some other movies, TV shows, that sort of stuff where similar things like that happen. And because this is such a niche topic, we're not really going to do anything special. It's just going to be a simple round table here. We're just going to kind of go back and forth. But that brings us to our real big message to this. This is going to be our monthly theme here over at the Marshall County Library. Basically, the whole point here is, as much as you're not looking forward to going back to school, just remember it could be worse.
Could be worse.
I have a feeling some of the things that happen in these schools and to these students are going to make you go, calculus, demon prom queen. I'd probably actually still take the demon prom queen, but whatever. So let's just get into the actual conversation here a little bit. Just some random TV shows, movies where we think weird things have happened to students or at school that kind of make you appreciate your school a little bit more.
Yep.
You want to go first?
Sure. So I'm going with I would say the granddaddy, the ultimate high school dread movie. I'm going with Carrie, the original 1980s. I don't know. Based off of the Stephen King book, novel. Yeah, it's, I don't know. This film is very, how do I want to say? It's a lot of things in pop culture reference this film a lot. Whether it's the hand coming out of the grave at the end, or the bucket of blood at the prom dance and prom queen thing. I don't want to say that originated here, but it got very, very, very popular after this film. So I'm going with the original Carrie.
Yeah, that's kind of the first one you think of.
Yep.
When you kind of think of this sort of topic, and it was actually 1976 when that first
earlier.
one came out. So,
Cool beans.
Yeah, even earlier than that. But I'm gonna do an answer here. Probably not would be the first one you would think of here, but the more and more I thought about it, more and more I would hate to go to this school.
Okay.
I'm talking about East High from High School Musical. Now, I do not hate this movie. I should point this out. It's fun, kind of nostalgia. It's a Disney Channel original musical.
Yeah.
You're going to get what you get from there. The reason why I said this school would suck to go to, though, is because everyone starts there singing and dancing. And, I'm a pretty quiet guy in general, just kind of keep to myself.
It's true.
I cannot imagine what it would be like just sitting in the lunchroom, just trying to eat lunch as quick as possible, and all of a sudden one table starts singing
together,
and you watch those. Everyone has to get in on the dance. So now I gotta be like, but my chicken nuggets are gonna get cold. Well, I gotta join in because I'm gonna look like a weirdo not doing it.
It's true.
And I'm just trying to get. High school lunches are not like an extended a period of time here.
That's also true.
You're limited to get as much as you can there.
You get in, you get out.
Yeah, you eat, you get out of there, and you hope it's going to last you the rest of the day till you get home and get a snack or whatever. So the fact that all of a sudden people would be talking about the status quo and all that and be like, look, that's great for you, but my fries were already cold on the plate already. By the time I get to these, it's going to be like freezer burned again.
Yeah.
So I just, and also during those basketball games, could you imagine being the other team having to stop, being like, okay, we're going to have a musical timeout now so Troy can swing to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But, you were up, but now they have to get a timeout in. So good luck, buddy. No wonder they won 2 in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Just saying. Again, I have nothing against that movie. It started a lot of big careers and all that, but as far as going to that high school, it would kind of suck. Anyways, what's your next one here you want to talk about?
I'm going with a somewhat tease to the preview. I'm going with Freaky. Vince Vaughn and is it not I
want to say Kathleen Newton.
Yeah,
something
I
like
couldn't
that.
remember her name. But the reason I'm going with this is kind of going off with the theme of this week. Like, I was trying to imagine, so I was kind of thinking, like, when my daughter gets older and goes to high school, imagine if, we made a wish in a wishing well, or however those weird things happen, and then I wake up as my daughter and have to go to school. I couldn't even imagine that. I would be doing T-poses and dabbing on people, and I think it would not be very good. And so that's kind of the reason I put this one on there. I couldn't even imagine trying to be around being a kid again.
Yeah, watching you trying to be hip in a young person's body actually does seem like it would be a very funny
I'd
movie.
be the Steve Buscemi, like, hello,
What up,
fellow kids.
What up, fellow kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That'd be a good one for sure. But yeah, also like on the freaky topic and everything. Plus, I mean, now you're being confused as a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's just double bad.
Yeah, that's not
and
good.
everything. Plus, the serial killers in your body like giving you a bad reputation.
Yeah.
You gotta get some PR behind that now.
Could be bad news.
Next one I'm going to talk about here, I only thought of simply because I've just been kind of rewatching this show recently because sometimes it's good to watch old kid shows and just, remind you of a simpler time. I'm talking about Casper High from the Danny Phantom TV series, animated show. That school gets attacked by a ghost like every other day. Rewatching it, I didn't realize how often. I knew it happened a few times at the school, but even Peter Parker's Spider-Man didn't have to fight his villains at the school as much. But it's like every other day, all of a sudden, a Phantom is just walking through the walls and growling at students. It's like, how is anyone still going there? I don't necessarily believe in homeschooling, but I would be homeschooling my kid.
Then might get the Phantoms at your house.
Well, then we know why the Phantoms are. Yeah, we would send them all home and be like, okay, whoever's following the kids home, we know they're the cause.
You're the problem.
Yeah,
That's
funny.
Funny.
Danny's the problem and everything. It's just you rewatch that, and I forgot how often that school got attacked. And they even joke about it. They're like, yeah, we're not really doing fire drills anymore. We're doing ghost drills, basically. It's like, well, yeah, because you got one every other day.
Ghosts all the time.
Like, put up a security camera or two or something, but. I mean, thankfully, usually the ghosts don't like hurt any of the kids, but it'd still be kind of scary.
Yeah,
going into that. So yeah, not a fun one to go to. All right, what's another school or a student or something like that you want to talk about here?
So this one's kind of a very, very loose one, but I think of the age, the school. I'm going with the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Kind of the whole vibe of school-age kids. I think there are some things that happen in the school. Also, Johnny Depp drives a bus in that, so that's school-related enough for me.
That'd be dangerous enough as it is.
Yeah. So that's what I got for you for number 3. Very loose, but trying to keep it on the horror side of that. So.
The next one I want to talk about here, just really quickly, because I feel like you hit on a lot of these points when you kind of talked about Freaky and all that sort of stuff. Again, I'm going to talk a little bit about Zac Efron. 17 again. It's not so much a body switching one, but all of a sudden he is essentially like youngified so that he's back in high school. But it's a lot of the same issues of like, okay, now you got to figure out, okay, what is hip? How do I fit in now as opposed to when I was in school or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 10 years removed from high school. I don't know what's hip now. I don't know.
Just ask me. I'll tell you.
Okay, I'll ask you. You'll tell me, and then I'll write down the opposite. And I think I'll have it figured out there. So, but yeah, just the whole all of a sudden it's a magical well thing, and next thing you know, you're back in high school and all that sort of stuff, and you got to deal with that sort of thing.
Yeah,
would not be fun. Fun comedy, but not a fun situation to be in for sure.
Yep. All right, for my 4th pick, I'm taking the university route. I'm going with the film Raw. This is, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, 7 years old now. It's a little bit of a kind of a newer-ish film. It is a foreign film, but the reason I'm taking the college approach is the girl is also, I'm not doing the, demonic, strange, weird things are happening. But what happens is she is a vegetarian and been like a lifelong vegetarian. And part of this, like once she gets to college, they have like a ritual hazing thing that you need to eat raw meat. Just take a bite out of this raw like chicken liver or something. And she does, and she turns out she likes it. She likes it a lot. So now she's starting to eat raw meat of all kinds of different, and then it devolves into she's taking bites out of people. And it's wild, horror, crazy, but this gets me. You're at a university, you're trying to fit in, you have to do this thing, and now
next thing you know, you've started a cannibal.
Yeah, it's really, I really enjoy it. It was a good film.
If anything, it is definitely a good PSA to stop hazing in universities.
100%. Don't do it.
You may accidentally start a cannibal.
Don't do it.
I mean, even if there's only like a 1% chance of that happening, I mean, I feel like a lot of universities are going to stop doing that if it's like, hey, let's not play with that fire.
Yeah. Don't haze.
Yeah, just don't haze.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. I knew that's what we're building up there. I was just waiting for him to switch the camera over finally. You've been picking a lot of like horror movies. I feel like I've been picking a lot of teenage movies here.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me as a person, but my other pick is Sky High. Again, great movie. Love the movie. Probably one of my favorite of those old Disney Channel originals. But at the same time,
those are not old Disney Channel originals. Those are just originals. Halloween Town
it's like 20 years, man.
Yeah.
It's like 20 years at least.
Really?
At least. Let me check.
Probably came out in 2015.
Not
back when you were in your swaddling
exactly
clothes.
20 years. 2005.
Really?
I am the date master.
I don't know if
Call me the clock
old.
king.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's been a minute since that's come out.
Right.
But the reason why I put it on this list is because, look, bullies are mean to begin with, and this movie shows a few bullies. It could be a lot worse. Could you imagine? I've always taken the philosophy: if anyone's bullying you, you just ignore them. That's why I give you the silent treatment so many times a day. I'm just kidding. That's never worked.
That's true.
If I were in this school and some kid was bullying me, I'd be like, I'd just ignore him. Well, what if that bully had like mind reading powers? And now I'm not even ignoring them. Now they're like probing into my head. They've now learned all my fears. They don't even have to break into my room to get some diary or whatever. They now know all my deepest, darkest secrets.
But what superpower do you have?
Probably only like super hair growing or something like that. It'd be something dumb would be my luck. But
then
I'm just saying, cyberbullying is bad. Imagine mental telepathy bullying.
Yeah, that would not be good.
That would be the whole other level you'd have to deal with in Sky High, I feel like. Reality bullying. What's that?
Bullying.
You got a Scarlet Witch kind of person. You got a Scarlet Witch person who's like making you run into a wall because you think it's a door every time. Like, haha.
That's
we made him fall into the abyss.
They did a really good job on South Park of reality as a person.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good.
I feel like I haven't seen that one, but
reality.
All right, why don't you? I only had like 4. Well, actually, I did have 5. I had a few, but you took Freaky and Carrie and all that. But you had them ranked higher. So, but I agree with them and everything. So why don't you round us off here? Give us one more.
My last one, I will go with. I would say kind of a newer classic. This film actually did really well, and it spawned a couple of sequels.
For sure, one. I don't know if they ever got a third one.
I think they're in the process. I could be wrong, but
I think I heard that.
I'm going with Happy Death Day. This is a college comedy horror film, repeating the cycle of you get killed and then you wake up the beginning of the day and you do it over and over until you can break the cycle. We've seen it kind of repeated, but I would say this was one that was done a little bit earlier, in the earlier kind of stages of this, and it critically was pretty good. I think it made a decent amount at the box office, and overall it was just positively received. And it spun a couple of good spun a sequel. I enjoyed it. I liked it. When I think of kind of that college age, back to school, this is what makes me think of. Yeah, because nobody would want to relive going to school.
Yeah, first of all, you wouldn't want to be murdered.
Yeah, you don't want to be murdered.
You don't want to be murdered, first of all. Second of all, having to redo it all over again and over again and over again. Like, imagine if she had to take like a really bad test that day.
Yeah. Well, after like the third day, you could just skip it, knowing that.
Yeah, that too. But also, hopefully by then you've learned a few bits.
You get to pass it What if every day you just like, all right, I need. So then the day, day 57, you just go in and you go A C 7, and you're done in like 5 minutes. Hand it back to the professor, 100%.
Yeah, but then the professor's gonna be suspicious of you for turning it in that quick, and you're gonna be like, you cheated on it. Clearly, here's a new version. You'd be like, crap.
And then they go A B C, and it's all right again. Then they go, what? How crazy would that be?
Because you've gone through that part of it again. But I'm just saying you'd have to slow it down to not cause suspicion, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, those are just a few options here. Some movies that remind you as we get ready for back to school time. If you're dreading it, it could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Could always be a lot worse. That's essentially my philosophy in life. Hey, we talk a lot about movies on this channel, but sometimes the ones we talk about aren't the most accessible. That's where the Marshall-Lyon County Library comes in handy. They have a great collection of physical media, as well as a couple of online services with many, many options for movies, TV shows, and documentaries. It's easy. Just get your own library card at the Marshall-Lyon County Library and gain access to their large variety of movies, TV shows, and of course, books. Also, be sure to check back every month as we here at Popcorn Bucket List make specific movie recommendations based on a monthly theme. So head on over to the Marshall-Lyon County Library for some of our favorites and check out the channel to get even more movie recommendations. And now, on with the show! But let's move on then to the weekly preview, talk about all the movies coming out here this weekend. I actually got a few here to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it here. Coming out Wednesday, August 6th, Sketch. This one's coming straight to theaters. A young kid's notebook filled with creative drawings falls into, it looks like a magical river, bringing all creations inside of it to life. Now these young kids must work together to defeat these monsters. I don't know about you, but it gave me kind of a Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl vibe.
Yeah, I was going to say that 100%. That kind of like the way it is shot or made, it's very... It gives me those vibes.
It's these young kids. It's these very creative designs.
Yep.
Like it's something a kid would come up with.
Yeah.
And it is kind of this whole like, okay, you've written them down. They were just kind of in imagination, but now all of a sudden they're in real life.
They're
There's something
real.
you can face and have to deal with and all that. So I don't know. I think if you kind of like that sort of come to life, childish wonder vibe, I think you're going to like this movie too.
Yep.
And kid actors look like they're giving a good effort, I feel like. But
Yep. It's always kind of interesting with kids.
Yeah, for sure. Also coming out, though, that same day to Prime Video, The Pickup. This one's rated R. The old guard and the new guard work together in this movie as it stars Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson as armored truck drivers who end up getting kidnapped, robbed, and forced to help with a larger heist. Honestly, this movie didn't intrigue me too much, which is saying something because I like Pete Davidson. Obviously, I love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
However, there was someone in this that I think brought up the vibes a little bit here.
Who's that?
A little bit of Marshawn Lynch.
Ooh, let's go. I'm telling you, he is.
Yeah, one of the bright spots of that Kiwi Kwan movie came out earlier here this year. He's done some other things. He looks like he's still having some fun here as well.
Yep, he's. I really enjoy watching Marshawn on the big screen.
I'm just saying, I didn't really have any interest to watch this movie until I saw Marshawn.
Yep.
I don't know why he wasn't on the poster or anything.
He should be.
He should
Maybe
be.
they're trying to keep, like, he wasn't.
You know what? Hey, that's a good surprise.
Yeah, maybe,
Treat.
like, because he was in quite a bit of that movie.
Yeah.
And it was like, he's really funny. He's really good.
Yeah. I will say, again, the comedy didn't hit me too much. It did look like there was one or two good action scenes, though.
Yep.
I will give it that. And, as much as Eddie Murphy has kind of had an up-and-down career as of late, I still think that last Beverly Hills Cop, there was a few good action scenes in that one, too. So I still think if you are an Eddie Murphy fan, you're probably still going to get something out of this, hopefully. But moving on to Friday, August 8th, the big ticket item here, Freakier Friday, coming straight to theaters. This is the legacy sequel to the 2003 remake. That's right. Turns out, first Freaky Friday was a remake. There was a 1973 movie that came out first. Just learned that last week.
There you
go. This time, 4 family members switch bodies.
Whoa!
Doubling it up.
That's so much freakier.
I know. Some might call it a Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
So does that mean if they do a third one, they're going to do Freakiest Friday? And it's just going to be
then it'll be Freak Off Friday.
Yeah, this, I will say, I don't know what trailer I guess you saw. We don't usually coordinate with that sort of stuff. But the one I saw showed a lot of Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, despite the fact that there were other people who got switched in this as well.
That's the one that I saw mostly.
Okay.
But I think they're just trying to bank on their stars.
Yeah.
They might actually not be in the film that much, but in the promotion, you put those out. Just like if you have Bryan Cranston in your film, you put him out. Doesn't matter if he's only in the movie for about 4 minutes.
I don't know what at all you're talking about there. I don't know what you could possibly be. Yeah. Mark that off your bingo card. Ryan complains about the Godzilla 2014 movie. It's been a minute since we heard him talk about that one. So, Yeah, I that's what I'm kind of thinking too. I'm wondering if they were just showing, because the two other people whose bodies get switched, I didn't recognize them in anything.
Yeah.
So I think they are just kind of like, hey, it's Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis again. In that first movie, we had them separated through most of it. This time we're going to have them together a lot more.
Yeah.
And that is kind of a fun thought, I guess. Yeah, I think overall I really like Jamie Lee Curtis in this from what I've seen. And it is nice to see this continued comeback for Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It's nice. I think she's cleaning up a little bit, getting back on the path.
Yeah. So, needless to say, I think that at the very least will be sort of a positive to this movie for sure. But I don't know. I feel like it's another one of those maybe waited a little too long.
Yep.
But then again, I said that about Happy Gilmore too, and that was like one of the most watched Netflix things too. So,
yep.
What do I know?
We're just jabronis.
Yeah, I guess it's just the bots.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the other big ticket item here this weekend: Weapons. This one's also coming straight to theaters. Another movie that sort of involves some supernatural stuff around some students and all that here. Basically, some sort of mystery goes on in this small town where at the exact same time in the night, every kid from the same classroom left their homes and disappeared, never to be seen again. Now the whole town is just trying to figure out what happened. I would say possibly the award for the best trailer of the year might go for this movie now.
I'm super pumped for this movie. Can't wait.
The thing that really got me about this one is it was quite possibly the best balance of intriguing while giving almost nothing away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is such a hard line to hit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're going to be intriguing, you have to show them a
little bit.
But also the fact that I have no idea where this mystery is going. I have no idea if the characters who are being accused of things have actually anything maybe to do with this. Because it's pretty ridiculous to think that a teacher would make all these kids disappear. But at the same time, logic kicks in. It's like, well, yeah, but they're all from your classroom. You must have done something. You're the only constant here.
Yeah, you're the only thing that we know of that had communication and everyday talking with these kids. And now they're all the ones that are gone. It's just so-and-so from their class, just your kids.
It wasn't like all the dark-haired kids from across the school. It was just everyone from this class, and it was just a random time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lesser movie would go for like a creepy, like, oh, it's dead on 3 o'clock because that's like the witching hour or whatever. Yeah. But it was like, no, it's like a random 2:17 a.m.
Yeah.
And they all started running out the same way. And I don't know. It really, truly, if anyone wants to know how to edit a horror movie trailer, this is the how-to book right here. I feel
it's really good.
We talked a little bit about Paul Walter Hauser having a pretty good year here. Julia Garner having a pretty good year here so far. She started off the year with Wolfman, had a small role in that. Did much better than I thought with Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four a couple weeks ago. Now she's one of the main characters in this movie. Sometimes the stars just align for you, where obviously you're shooting these movies at so many different times and locations, all that. All three just kind of come out the same year. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Sometimes you do.
But I don't know. She's been good in the first two. I think she looks good in this third one. But I don't know. Any other thoughts we have for this one? I've just been hearing a lot of positive hype, really.
Same. I've been hearing a lot of positive things, but it's nice because I haven't watched any of the updated trailers I saw the original one, and then I've just heard kind of word of mouth and a couple of headlines, but I haven't looked into it.
Yeah. I'm not as big a fan of horror movies as you are, but even I'm kind of like, I kind of want to see this one here. So
horror's great.
We'll hopefully get a chance to check that one out. But last but certainly not least, My Mother's Wedding, also coming to theaters. A little bit of a romantic comedy showing 3 daughters coming back together for their mom's 3rd wedding. Now they all have to think about what's next for all of their futures as well. For those of you who want to see Scarlett Johansson doing a British accent, I feel like the closest we ever got to her doing that was Jojo Rabbit. I guess I can't think of any others where she maybe did a British accent. But
yeah, I don't know.
It's not the worst British accent.
Hello, Scarlett.
That might be the worst British accent I've heard, maybe.
Welcome to London.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one?
No.
I was thinking about this. We maybe You know, in like the WWE where there's like someone like sitting off to the side that they like tag in every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
We need like a romantic comedy expert
That's true.
to like tag in. Just always be ready during these episodes because we're not the ones to talk about it.
Like that Oxford year.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Part of me wanted to see if you were going to be as mad with this one than with Oxford. But
somebody asked me about that, or I was telling somebody about it, and I just remember my blood pressure went up, my face got red while I was talking about it, and I realized I don't need to talk about this movie ever again, ever.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. So I'm just saying, eventually we might just have to have someone tag in.
Yeah.
During these romantic comedies, because again, there's just not. Yeah, Carter, you want?
I know somebody.
You
up
want
there.
in on this? You got anything to say?
No, I don't have anything to say.
Look, it would have a little bit more variety if they used a different background music in these trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same one every time. It's like, come on, get a Storyblocks account or something. You can find more music.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine for people who like that sort of stuff. We're just not those people. I think we're done pretending at this point.
Yeah.
If you looked at like a couple of years ago, we were probably like, it's probably gonna be good. We're trying to stay positive, and now we're just like, look, you know what you're getting into.
Yep.
We don't care.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, now we got that out of the way. Let's wrap things up like we usually do with some number one recommends. Let's see. I got you lined up first here this week, so why don't you let us know what you recommending?
I got bad news. I got a big fat nothing.
Big fat nothing.
Yep.
Big fat nothing.
Nothing. Past week didn't really have much time to go see. Well, did we watch anything last week?
Yeah, we watched Naked Gun.
I assume you were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I got something if you want me to.
All right,
we only got time for one more.
Well, no, this is tagging in. This is
All
tagging.
right,
We're gonna have Carter tag in.
Carter, put your hand out. I'm tagging you.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to actually recommend WWE Unreal on Netflix. It's a docu-series. I forget how many episodes it is, but it just goes behind the scenes of WWE and reveals how they plan out all their storylines and things like that. So.
Wait, storylines?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Wait, hold on.
Yes, it's fake. Okay, there you go. It's fake.
It's not fake. It's staged.
I think we hit a nerve there with Carter on that one.
I think so.
Yes,
Sorry, Carter.
It's just really cool to see all the behind the scenes stuff. So if you're into that type of thing, then check it out.
Okay. Yeah, in all seriousness, I do like good behind-the-scenes stuff as much as the next person, so that does actually sound pretty interesting. So what is that on? What did you watch it on?
That is on Netflix.
On Netflix? Okay. Sorry if you already said that. I might have missed that, but yeah. All right, WWE Unreal. In that case, I'm going to recommend The Naked Gun, the 2025 version. I went into this movie already with some pretty high expectations, I feel like, just because of all the marketing and all that and all the behind the scenes stuff that I was reading and all that. This movie hit my expectations and maybe even exceeded it a little bit more. Liam Neeson's great in this. Pamela Anderson's great in this. The jokes are so good in this.
Paul Walter Hauser's
great in this. Everyone's great in this. If you enjoy the comedy of the original Naked Guns, this movie hits it exactly. And I even had it ranked as like my second favorite out of all of them. I think it's better than the second and the third one overall. But I think a lot of people kind of agree with that. So it's not even, I can't even call that a controversial take. But if you enjoy the Naked Gun movies before and you maybe avoided this one because you're like, well, I don't want them to tarnish the original. No, this movie, it gets it. It knows what the assignment was and nailed it as far as I'm concerned, and is one of my favorite comedies of the year here probably so far. And, well, I don't see it losing that spot anytime soon. So, Naked Gun.
And I'm going to piggyback off you. I really, really enjoyed this film. It was really good.
And that was the other thing, too, is you even said, like, you weren't even the biggest fan of the originals or whatever. So that's where I thought this one really stood out, was if you've watched the originals before, you're going to enjoy this one. But if you had no idea what the originals were before, you're going to find some enjoyment in this one.
Yep.
And I think that is another huge positive this movie makes.
Yep.
But that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. Once again, check out our movie recommendations over at the Marshall Lyon County Library. I learned a little something about them last week or whatever. Do you know they got Wi-Fi hotspots you can check out?
No.
This is not an ad, by the way. This is like the stuff they have over there. We've barely like scratched the surface.
That's
so like
true.
not only can you go over there and get like some movie recommends from us, but like let's say you're a business or something like that, something goes down, you really need some Wi-Fi or whatever. Obviously, internet runs this world right now. I was able to go over there. I had to help out some people. Their Wi-Fi was out due to construction for a little bit. Went over there, checked one out, worked like a charm. So just one of the many things that they have available for you over there. So go and check it out. Check out our recommends. Check out what else as far as services and everything they have over there. Look it up on their website, all that. They got a lot of stuff.
They do
for the community, and we've barely scratched the surface on it. So if you need it, check out, see if the Marshall Lyon County Library maybe has it or has access to it, because you never know. So again, check out their website. Link to that is in our description below. But for myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.